ArsenalFanTV, Mo. Wow, it's so hot. So hot here, man. You haven't been this hot before. I know you're a traveller. It's hot here, isn't it?
Lahore summers, they can rival this. So yeah, I'm kind of used to it, but still, it's damn hot.
And you know what? They're pretty hot out on the pitch today. You know what I mean? They really took their chances. 5-1 demolition job. We know we're not going to get carried away. You always famously say you're not going to get carried away if we lose badly in a friendly or if we win friendly. But there's some signs there that we can be very optimistic about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. If we see signs that are worrying us, we're going to be thinking sort of how these are going to unfold when it really matters. And when there's signs that are positive, like today, we're going to think, right, can these unfold when it matters? And I'd rather have the positive signs than the negative signs. So,
what's your positives today?
Well, Guendouzi. I mean, he's got to be the man on everyone's lips right now because he's come in. He's come in as a youngster and almost kind of a bit of an unknown. Like, I'll challenge anyone here who had really heard of Guendouzi before we signed him.
I do.
Really? Yeah? No. And I know that, but the thing is, look, he looks like a really good player. And for me, it's not so much like one good pass. That can all happen in isolation. For me, it's just about the temperament. He doesn't look fazed by what he's doing. Like, he's coming from, much like Rob Holding when he came from Bolton, he's coming from a much smaller club, all of a sudden doing a worldwide tour. You know, he's now out in Singapore with this crazy fan base, and he's responding to it really well. So that makes me think hopefully he's got the temperament to succeed, because form is temporary, do you know what I mean? But these sorts of things, like the temperament and that sort of thing, is a bit more long-lasting.
What I liked about him is he always seems to be on the move. Yeah. Even when he doesn't have the ball, if you watch him, he's always moving, he's always demanding the ball, you know, way beyond his years, the way he looks. So, you know, I'm looking at him and I'm saying, and I don't want to put that label on him, but I'm like, I haven't seen nobody sort of moving around like that in the midfield and be so comfortable since Santi. Since Santi, he sort of reminds me of that a bit.
And that's the thing, like, you know, we always do these, we compare to previous players.
The new Santi. I mean, I shouldn't have said that.
Another man, Emil Smith-Rowe, like that. I'm not even going to say who he reminds me of. I'll tell you off camera, because I don't want to heap that pressure on these players. But again, there's a player. No, not Bergkamp. But there's a player that I think to myself, look, he reminds me of this player. But I don't think it's helpful for them if we heap that pressure on them. Do you know what I mean? And give them these labels to live up to. Because I did it with Xhaka. I remember I said that, you know, when you look at his passing range and his the way he can spread the ball around, it reminds me of Xabi Alonso. And then people take that to mean every part of his game. Don't get me wrong, Xhaka is not a Xabi Alonso. There's elements of his game that remind me of that, and if he really excels himself, he can kind of try and get to that level. So I don't want to do that again. I don't want to put pressure on these youngsters. But Guendouzi looks really good, and I just hope that he can do that in the games that matter. But what concerns me is that Ainsley Maitland-Niles looked so good towards the end of last season. Now I've signed Torreira in his position, we've signed Guendouzi in his position. Monreal's not on the tour, and there's been a few rumours about him leaving the club, and I think he was one of our best players last season, Monreal. And that makes me think, does that mean now that Maitland-Niles is going to not be in his favourite position, he's going to be put to left back to provide cover for Kolasinac? It's not really ideal, but I don't know, man. Look, football is a ruthless game, and the best players have to get the time.
I was saying to the other guys, I go, is there something in you slightly that says, because it does still seem a little weird that Wenger's not there. Is there something in you that says, you know, you kind of miss him a little bit, but you do recognise that this is a whole new era now, and Unai Emery's doing his thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I miss Arsene Wenger. It's just simply a case of, you know, the focus is wrong. It's never about Wenger in or Wenger out for me. It was always about what's good for Arsenal. And if change was good for Arsenal, then I want change in whatever format that arrived in. It's happened as a manager, so that's it. We just get behind the new manager. I think it's a bit frustrating to hear people praise Emery and that to be taken as a criticism of Arsene Wenger. Look, it's just new methods, but ultimately the one consistent is Arsenal, and that's what the focus is on. So I don't miss Arsene Wenger. I just want, I say want, but it is the case. Everyone is backing Emery, and it's nice. It's what we had always said.
And you seen any difference? Is there a difference that you've seen at the moment to his style of play and to how we played in the past? Well, have you seen any major difference?
Too soon to tell. And also, it doesn't matter in games like this. We don't know if Emery is experimenting here or if this is his preferred style. It's way too soon to tell. All I would say is, like, in the friendlies, in this mad heat, I've seen a bit more urgency to win that ball back as soon as you lose it. I feel like that's an element of our game that I really like, that I've seen here. But again, we will be able to do that week in, week out. Those boring Monday night games in Hull, will they still be that motivated? Right now, they're impressing a new manager. When they're a bit comfortable in their starting positions, will they do it then? And it's that constant motivational element that I'm looking for from Emery. And when managers do that, you look at Simeone or even a Mourinho and that sort of thing. When they do that, sometimes players get a bit annoyed with it, and these managers don't have a long shelf life at clubs. So I'm hoping Emery can do that and get the right balance so he can go on for a while.
I wanted to ask you, I didn't get to ask you this the other night, and I asked you tonight, and it was great to see him score, Ozil, today, for him to get that first goal. And we've heard all this controversy with the whole thing with Germany and what he came out and said. What have you made of that whole thing?
Well, look, people say to me, you might say to me, keep politics out of football. Politics affects all parts of daily life, man. And if Mesut Ozil is going to stand with someone, he should be answerable to who he's standing with. Because if you were taking a picture with Donald Trump, I'd give you a hell of a lot of stick. Do you know what I mean? So you should be answerable. But I think what the German media have done, and a lot of people have done that I think is really out of order, they haven't compartmentalized the issues. Him taking a picture with someone, you should ask him about that in its own right. That shouldn't spill over onto the pitch. For me, what Mesut Ozil did in the World Cup, the first game, I thought he was very average. Let's be completely honest about it. Second game, he started on the bench. You can't really attribute much blame to him, and they only sneaked past Sweden in that game, if I'm not wrong. And then in the third game, I actually thought he performed very well. Mesut Ozil comes on the pitch to do his speciality job, and that is create chances. Not just basic ones, clear-cut chances. And he did that twice. Had they taken those chances, they would have been through. If Hummel scored that header, Germany would have been through, and this issue would be dead, because football fans and the media are that fickle. So for me, Mesut Ozil on the pitch is taking a hell of a lot of stick that he doesn't deserve. And what I absolutely love is the amount of support that he's getting from the Arsenal fan base, from Arsenal players as well. People like Hector Bellerin coming out and supporting him vocally. I really like that. I've seen people wearing I Stand With Ozil t-shirts. So Ozil, I'm sure he knows he's got a hell of a lot of support out here. I offer my support to Mesut Ozil because what he said, that's a very, very powerful thing, and he wouldn't do that lightly. He's come out and said, when we do well, I'm German, when we don't, I'm an immigrant. That is a hugely powerful thing for someone to come out and say. People aren't going to say that lightly. So I think Hernes, look, the stuff, what he's been doing, given his track record, he needs to rein it in a bit. You're not one to be trying to be holier than thou with anyone and call the shots on anyone. So, creep back into your hole. And Mesut Ozil, your family is Arsenal. Everyone loves you here. So here's your home, man. We're going to back you till the end. That's it.